What's up, YouTube? Making another playlist for the Vorodox Experiment. This is going to be a hand history playlist that'll go hand in hand with the Hero Chronicles. No pun intended. Some pun intended, now that I think about it. So, a couple reasons I want to do these hand histories. I want to be able to check out my hands, analyze them, and try to find any type of leaks that I might have. Most of the hands that I put up here, I'm going to put up here because I had a question in the hand. So, as our community grows, I'm going to be looking forward to hearing what y'all have to say. What would you have done? How would you have played it? And final is that I just want to get better at running through, explaining my hands. I see sometimes when I'm live streaming, I don't always step through the hands verbally like I'm doing in my head. And so I feel like if I just continue to practice talking about the hands as they're being played, then I'll get better at it. And it's, this is a good place for me to do it. I kill two birds with one stone. I practice on that, and I'm making some good content that I know poker players are going to be interested in digging into. So, start with this hand. It's going to be random tournaments. I haven't really thought of any way to make it specific. We'll see once we get a bunch of them in there if I want to organize it differently. This is a $5, $10 rebuy. $10 rebuy. We're during the rebuy period, and we're on the button with Queen Jack off. And we get two limpers. I limp. Typically, I raise there. I'm not even sure what I was thinking about limping. Quite possibly could have been thinking, hey, it's the rebuy. There's going to be 5 people in the hand. More likely than not, he's going to call. And so we'll see a flop. I've got position, and with 5 people, we can build a nice little pot. So he calls. Check. Flop comes pretty nice for us. We got top pair, decent kicker. Backdoor flush. So from that point, we get 3 people check. Not for you comes out betting 1860. Bets the pot. Now he's a pretty good player, pretty solid player. Typically he has the goods if he's betting, but he limped pre-flop. So now I'm automatically thinking, well, he either limped a big pocket pair, or he hit a good flop. Maybe 2 pair. Maybe he's got a diamond draw. But again, we're in the rebuy period. I think that the hand is strong enough in position to call, and so I do. We get 1, 2, 3 folders, and the turn is an 8 of diamonds. Pretty decent card for me, unless he was on the flush draw. Then it's a pretty not decent card. But anyway, so he gets to act first, and he bets 300. My main thought at that time was that he was either, again, slow playing a big pocket pair, or he didn't have shit. He was just giving up the hand. I ended up coming to the conclusion that, in my mind, there's no way, or there's a very small chance that he has a overpair here, because I know he knows how to play pretty well, and he's just giving me the opportunity to catch a river card. And there's so many draws that have already made it out there. So if for 300 into 5.5K, of course I'm going to call if I'm chasing a draw. Now, if he's already got, he might. The only other possibility that ran through my mind very quickly and then ran right out, because I wasn't trying to hear that shit, is that he had the nuts. He had ace-x of diamonds. Well, I guess that wouldn't be the nuts. He straight flush, but I did consider the possibility of him having the nuts right there, which would be a reason. This might be a reasonable bet to make, because he's hoping that I will work it out like I did and raise, which is what I did. 3/4 pot, something like that. And I'm talking about, we're going running through the replay now, but if he had a timer on him, he probably took 0.2 seconds to snap it all in right there. So now I know I'm beat. There's just no way. A mistake I noticed I made after I got done and originally looked at the hand is that was a terrible raise. Let's go back for just a second. Right here. This is a terrible raise, because the only thing that I'm trying to do by making this raise is to run him off his hand. because, like I said, I had already determined, or I'd already figured that he didn't have an overpair. That's a ridiculous bet for an overpair, because if I shove, or if I bet pot, like half pot, whatever, what's he gonna do with an overpair? He's got to think that I've got something better than whatever his overpair is if I'm raising him. But I didn't have to bet that much. I only left myself with 2,300 chips, and that was ridiculous. This was a fast play. I wasn't thinking about sizing. A lot of times I run fast through after I've made my decision and I've run through my progressions in my mind. Sometimes I don't make that last step and then decide how much I'm going to bet. I know it's super important, you know what I mean? So that's something that I must get better at. Because right here, I could have raised to 2K, and that would have accomplished the same thing. Ultimately, I may have been able to get off the hand. If I make it a 2K bet, then I'm still sitting with 45. Probably not. I wouldn't have folded anyway, with 4K behind me during the rebuy period. Either way, that's hindsight. What wasn't hindsight is when I made the raise and there was no reason for me to bet that much. I would have gotten the same results doing a smaller bet. So there's that, and I call, and what is now? Pocket kings. I got some outs. I call. I hit. So not extremely happy with the way I played that hand. I think my bet, first of all, I think I should have raised pre-flop. That's number one mistake. The second mistake is that I should have bet a lot less when I raised his min bet. Let me know what you think. Leave some comments. I love constructive criticism. Come at me. Tell me where I could have been better. Yeah, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell so you can get notified every time I put one of these hand histories up. After we get some of these up and we start getting some more people in the community, I'll start looking at other people's hands too, and we can dissect people's stuff as a group. So I appreciate you watching. I'll try to make these a little shorter. This is 7 minutes. I want to get them down to like 4. But anyway, appreciate you. God bless you. Have a great afternoon, and come back and check out another one.